friends, welcome back to another Palia episode. This time we're going to be designing my very basic living room. Last time we did the kitchen. I did add a little bit to it, some shelving with some stuff and some stuff on the table, like little pots and jars and casserole dishes and some wall decoration. So now we're going to work on the living room. I added a fireplace, which I love. It looks really great and is kind of adding to that cottage feel. Don't look back there. We'll deal with that later. Don't pay attention to what's behind the curtain. We're just going to design a very simple little living space. And, with items that hopefully some of you watching have access to. This industrial furniture set is pretty early game. I have all the recipes for it and the homestead furniture and I believe the log cabin, but that's not really my vibe. If it's yours, great. But I wanted to do something that fit a little bit more with my personal aesthetic, and the industrial furniture definitely looks a little better to me personally. So that's what I decided to go with, because I used some of that in the kitchen along with the homestead furniture. And I do kind of mix and match some things here also. But so this is just going to be me placing down all the items and different things. I'm not terribly thrilled with the wallpaper choice. I wish they would kind of let you kind of test it out, you click on it and preview what it would look like on a wall before you bought it, because I wasted 2,500 gold and was kind of meh about it after I got it. I was like, not exactly what I was hoping for. I thought it would be, I don't know. I don't know what I thought, but this is not that was not it. Just not it. So eventually I will replace it with something else. I'm not sure what. There's not a whole, I wish there were a few more wallpaper choices and things that you could craft on your own when it came to the wallpaper and the flooring and the rugs. It would be nice to be able to craft some of these things instead of having to purchase them in the store. That way you could get, multiple copies if you wanted. I mean, you don't really need multiple copies of the wallpaper or flooring. Once you have it, but maybe you need multiple rugs and you don't want to buy one each time because Zeki is expensive. So, little quality of life things that would be nice. I'm going to have to make another chair because I don't have a second chair. My setup before was very small in a corner and that's all I had room for. So I'll get to that in a minute. But here we are, just placing down some items. I really like all the potted plants in the game. I like that in any kind of build. When it came to Animal Crossing, I was always throwing up different kinds of potted plants and putting them in just about every room design I did, and even outside, just because. And I'm not much of a green thumb in real life. In fact, my kids will tell you that I kill everything I bring into the house. I've even managed to kill succulents. I don't know how that's possible, but whatever. I have managed to keep my rose bushes and my azalea bushes alive outside, even during all the extreme weather Texas has been having the last few years. I don't know how I did that. Maybe it was just pure dumb luck. But anything I bring into the house or anything in small pots, I just can't seem to keep alive. So I will just stay with being a virtual in-game potted plant gal, and not really torture any more plants in the future. I tend to put things along walls. I don't like things just floating in the middle of nowhere. That gives me a sense of unease. I don't like just floating out in the middle. I like to be anchored. I like more cozier spaces. Personally, anything that's too big and too open makes me feel a little, there's too much space. But then I can also feel claustrophobic. So, it's just that right amount. There's no pleasing me, I guess. So I don't necessarily put things right in the middle of a space. Also, too, you've got the door right there. And I wanted there to be sort of a natural walkway from the front door to the kitchen, kind of an easy path. In my actual life, in my real life, I have a very modern, minimalistic kind of design aesthetic in my own home, where the pathways are very walkable. There's not a lot of stuff, and I tend to bring that into whatever kind of design game I'm playing, whether it be Animal Crossing or Dinkum or Palia. I do tend to not put too much out, although I do have an Animal Crossing video that came out recently, or is coming out. I'm not sure of the timetable of this one, but I put a lot of stuff down, which is very uncommon for me. I'm not one for lots of items everywhere. They have to have a purpose, and this was more of a let's just throw it all out there and see what sticks kind of video. So yeah, in this design, it's definitely very simple, and I also wanted to keep it simple enough for those who've been playing a while but are like me and have not been able to acquire just all the more in-game things, the recipes that require things like pallium and the flow wood, because even though I've been playing pretty much since the game released in closed beta, I have not played every day, and when I do play, I only usually get to have a couple of hours, and I just don't have all that stuff. And I figured a lot of you might be like me as well, that don't have all the recipes or the resources to make the fancier furniture, if you will. And I'm kind of going for a simple little like cottage here. I'm not doing anything grand. I might, on a secondary home plot, which I learned about recently, maybe make something much more grand and huge and completely different design with different furniture. But that's down the road once I've acquired more money and more things. Right now I'm just, trying to do the most with what I've got, which is not a lot. And I think that there are quite a few others like me out there and wanted to do something that was a little more simple. There are amazing design videos by those like I Am Not Dead Jet. She has this great kitchen design and cottage core thing going on with one of her houses, and it's just great. If you want something super elaborate, she's had more time in the game and acquired way more things and can show you what to do with more of that in-game furniture and makeshift stuff that you can catch when you're fishing. I need to spend more time fishing so I can get more of those items, but you know how it is. You got to prioritize. And I do think that this is, this game is supposed to be chill. Everybody's like, oh, you got to grind, and you do. But I think there's that mentality that goes around that you've got to have all the things right away. And this game is really, I think, designed to do that gradually. And so my perspective on it has changed. Yes, it can be grindy if you are trying to get all the things immediately. I'm taking a slightly different approach and doing what I can with what I can. And then as I acquire more, I will change things. And I think everybody else who's feeling stressed about Palia in terms of, oh, it's a grind, it can be. I definitely think if you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, if you will, it will definitely feel that way. And I've just gotten to the point where I'm just like, I'm playing this at my own pace, and it's going to look a little different, and it's not going to have all the stuff. And I mean, some of you may be watching this going, my God, she's got a lot. and I probably do compared to others. I'd say I'm probably middle of the road with the acquired recipes and amenities. I don't know how else to put it, but yeah. So we're all just kind of doing this and should do it at your own pace, and don't feel like you're missing out because you don't have certain things. It's something to work for and look forward to once you get to that point. I don't like feeling pressure to play any game to get the stuff. And I was giving myself that pressure. No one was giving it to me. But I was like, it's not looking good. I don't have anything. I have no money, and I was just like, I need an attitude adjustment, because this game I don't think was created for that. I think it was supposed to be a slow build up. You play with friends. And really when I play in a group. And we're running around doing things and having fun and laughing. And so objectives don't always get done because you're just hanging out with friends. And so I think I'm approaching it with a slightly different outlook. And this is what I've been able to acquire since the game has come out. And, I'm happy with it now. I used to joke that it was a shed with a bunch of crap in it. And it's not looking so shed-like anymore, thank goodness. I really wanted to use this shelf somewhere, but the available wall space was pretty limited, and I didn't really want to put it up that high. I did not like that. Yes, I could make the doorways a little smaller, and I probably will for the bedroom. I just did not think about it while I was recording this, and was like, okay, always the good ideas come after the fact. You know how it is. Any of you who are also content creating watching this video know that, you watch it back later and you're like, oh, I could have done this. This is a major frustration for me, is that you can't put anything on this piece of furniture. I tried multiple things off camera and was like, are you kidding? Like, what a waste of real estate on top of that. little sideboard cabinet because it's beautiful, but you can't put anything on it. And I had such grand plans and ideas, and anyway, it didn't work out. Hopefully it's just a glitch in the game and they do fix that later. That would be nice. But as it stands, that's how it is. I'm just now realizing I thought I sped this video up. It is in real time. It was supposed to be about 8-ish minutes long, and I'm seeing that it's more like 17. I was like, wait a second. I thought I pushed the speed up button when I was in the editing process. Clearly I didn't. And, well, you know, it's going to be a little longer than I thought. Y'all can hit that little playback speed button down there in YouTube and speed it up a little bit if you'd like. Might not be the worst idea. I know I do myself a disservice when I say that, but I kind of want to turn this at some point into maybe like a little desk area. Putting that shelf there, making it more like a desk. I don't do that here, but I had that thought later. Like, oh, I could put like a little chair. And if there were some items that looked more like something you would have on a desk rather than a plant, a big potted plant like what I do end up putting there in just a little bit. Something to explore for yourselves whenever you're decorating your rooms in your houses. I struggle with the camera view in this game, as you can see. The actual in-game camera and then just the play camera. I don't know why. I do like that it's 360. You know, some games don't have that, but at the same time, things block my view. And I have a lot of complaints about the in-game camera, which do seem unfair given that this game is still in beta. But so I'll keep those to myself for the moment, but it is what it is. I feel like probably improvements are on the way, and I'm just going to try to be patient and let those happen. Eventually. I will say that the biggest issue I have is that the screenshot quality is nowhere near like my screenshots for like Dinkum or Animal Crossing or any other game I've played. For whatever reason, when I use the in-game camera to take a screenshot, which is the only way to take a picture that I'm aware of without all the stuff on the screen, all the, user interface stuff, the quality is so awful. Like when I go to like enlarge it or crop it or whatever, it is blurry. And I know my eyesight's not great, but come on. So it's a thing. I don't understand why the quality is so bad for this particular game when I don't make any changes to any settings and I can go into Dinkum and take a screenshot and the quality is exceptional. Or I can go into Animal Crossing and take a screenshot and the quality is exceptional. So I don't know if it's some sort of mechanic in this game specifically, or I don't know. I'm not a tech person, so I'm at this point just guessing. And, it's not a super educated guess, so there you go. This little corner I played with for far too long because it is a little empty, and I will fill it in as I get more stuff and have more ideas. I like the idea of having the aquariums in the house, and I was just trying to figure out the best way to... But I also wanted to have something bigger and bulkier in this corner, but every which way I tried to do it, it just did not come out the way I wanted, and I couldn't fit it in the spaces that I wanted to fit the spaces into. And anyway, I abandoned the idea eventually, but it took far too long to get there. So you get to watch me struggle as I do it. If you guys aren't aware, you can follow me on my Discord. The links are in the description down below for all the social media and all of my links in all different ways. But if you want to partner up and play with anybody, getting involved in Discord, anybody's Discord, it doesn't just have to be mine. And you can partner up and play. I know I've had a lot of people say that they want to play with others, whether it be Dinkum or Palia or whatever, and they don't have anybody to play with. Well, get involved in my Discord or any of the creators' Discords and make some friends and start talking to people, and don't be afraid to ask. We had a big conversation the other day in a live stream about, I personally I'm afraid that I'm bothering someone when I message them and like ask for something. I'm just bothering them, and they're too busy. They don't have time. And the thing is they're thinking the exact same thing usually. I'm going to bother her if I message her, and that's just not the case. Most of us want to be bothered, and if I can't do it right then, if I can't jump on and play, I can schedule a time to dedicate to it specifically at a future date and time. And I think a lot of people feel that way. And asking, it never hurts to ask, right? Always err on the side of asking rather than not, because you just never know what someone's going to say. And I'm using that advice in my real life, on the job hunt. Just start reaching out to people and asking questions and seeing what help that you might be able to give. And I feel like we tend to look at asking as a weakness, and we need to start viewing it as a strength, Me personally, I'm talking to myself as much as anybody else at this point. It's definitely a weakness that I've had, a fatal flaw. I'm so independent that I typically don't want to necessarily bother people. I'm very bad at promoting myself, despite the way it may seem to others. It's just not something I've ever been very good at. And I feel kind of cringy when I do it. It just is like, I feel it just feels like very, narcissistic. And I know it's not, necessarily in that vein, because sometimes you do have to promote yourself. You have to be your own advocate. And, I'm getting better at that. I'm working on it. So here's the living room, guys. What do y'all think? It's very basic, very simple, but I hope for those of you who are struggling kind of like me to get some stuff and make it look good, See, this is what I mean about the camera angles. Why can't I pan down? Anyway, I hope this inspires you to do something simple in your house. It doesn't have to be super fancy. You don't have to have a lot of items either. It can be just a few things that you have and just place them, the right way. So yeah, guys, that's going to wrap us up. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll give you a little peek at the outside of the house and let you guys see what's what. As always, you guys, be kind to yourselves, be kind to others. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.